a step further. It's like kind of like those people that end sentences on propositions. Prepositions.
Like, do you want to do anal? Or do you mean prepositions?
I meant prepositions.
Oh, cool.
Oh, sure, we've all done that.
Just checking.
All right, I now have the opening for the show, that's for sure.
This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
All right, you ever have a dream that you're aware of but you don't like, so you tell yourself that it's a dream, but then you wake up from that dream, but you're still in the dream? Like you're doing it to try to fool yourself? And I'm like, hey, fuck you, me. What are you doing this for? I had this happen the other night. I had this weird thing, and I'll just talk about it. I'm confident in my masculinity. There was a dude with no shirt being very aggressive towards me, and I was going to stop him by giving him a titty twister. And I said, oh, this is obviously a dream. Wake up, me. What are you doing? So I woke up from the dream, but it was still a dream where I woke up from the dream, and then the dream kept going, and I was doing other things. And then it took another couple minutes, and I finally woke myself up. It was like I was trying to trick myself. What the hell?
Were you on Ambien?
That was not an Ambien night.
Huh. Did you have really spicy food the night before, or anything that was highly seasoned or flavorful, perhaps something of the Asian persuasion?
I don't recall. It's just odd that I was aware enough to know that I needed to get out of the dream, but not get completely out of the dream, you know?
Maybe you were too tired to get out of the dream. Short answer is no, that's never happened to me. I've also never been aggressively accosted by a shirtless man and then gone, you know what this needs? Nipple cripple.
Right. Well, it made total sense at the time. You understand.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
I mean, it would stop most people in their tracks.
Yeah. Well, if I ever have to utilize that in real life, I'll let you know, because these assholes on the sidewalk that don't want to share the sidewalk when I'm riding my bike, maybe that'll come into play, and we'll see how it goes. Like, get off the sidewalk and don't give me shit about it, or I'll give you a titty twister.
You'll have to get off your bike to administer that sort of justice, though, wouldn't you?
Almost happened the other day. I was riding my bike, and again, a guy in the middle of the sidewalk with his headphones on. I said, excuse me, on your left. And he had total attitude. Why don't you ride in the street? And I said, why don't you fuck? I called him fuckface. And why don't you fuckface? And then and I stopped and looked at him, and he stopped. And I said, what are you going to do? And he said nothing, and we moved on.
Are you allowed to ride on the sidewalk where you live?
I absolutely am. It's not an e-bike. It's a regular bike, like a real person. Although we are famous in the whole country now, we are famous for our latest news report. The high school that I went to, that I rode on my bike by the other day, and there were police everywhere. There was an 81-year-old substitute teacher walking out, and some asshole on a motorcycle classified e-bike hit him, and he's now in critical condition. And his mother is the asshole that was warned a year ago by the sheriff's department on video saying, you can't let him ride that, it's illegal. So now she has criminal charges. We're famous. Yeah.
That news hadn't made it here. It's against the law here to ride certain levels of e-bike on the sidewalk. But we are one of very few places that allows you to even ride your bicycle on the sidewalk. In most of it, you're not allowed to.
Well, I feel like I am no wider than a person walking on my bike, so I'm going to ride my bike and screw it. What's Trump going to do about that, huh?
Nothing. He's too busy trying to put his face on passports.
Yeah. Oh, God. Fucking gross. All right, so on with the show. It's a dealer's choice. I'll give you your choice. Do we want to start with the political stuff, or do we want to go light and work into the political?
Okay, let's rock, paper, scissors for it. I'm casual, you're political. Best of 3 wins.
Okay. One, two,
three. Go.
You cut me. You cut
scissors,
me. The bitch will cut you.
Okay. Will she ever? Okay.
One,
two, three. Shoot.
Oh, covered you. Hey, covered you. So 1 for 1. 1, 2, 3.
Shoot.
Tie. 1, 2, 3.
Shoot.
I covered you. If you didn't see that coming, I went paper every single time.
Okay.
All right.
I couldn't see it.
Now I have to go political now. Okay.
We're going political.
All right. I would have chosen the other way. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway. The Trump assassination attempt. Let's talk about Cole Thomas Allen, 31 of Torrance, who apparently went after all political leaders, including Trump, at this event Saturday night. First off, do you believe it? There's a lot of people that don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I believe that something happened.
But do you believe that it was a Trump-instigated event to cause mayhem and distraction?
Yeah, to justify whatever he's doing regarding the ballroom.
Right.
Because that was what he came out swinging around the ballroom. That was the critical thing. I just think it was just another attempt. I feel like every time he's struggling in the polls, he's like, let's stage an assassination attempt. You know, we don't know much about any of these people. And it just seems like such bullshit.
I was with you at first because I watched it and it all seemed so choreographed and fake to me. Yeah. And I was really kind of thinking that way, but then I thought it through and I think it's real now. And the reason that I think it's real is because they captured this guy. I feel like if it was fake and he was a patsy, they would have just killed him. And I still think that first thing with the ear, I think that was bullshit. And I think that was completely set up because we still don't have information on that guy. And I would point to that. But they have this guy in custody. They would have killed him. And I also think if this were fake, they would not have the manifesto that he left accusing Trump of being a rapist and a pedophile. Like, I feel like if they had engineered it, they want to keep focus off of that, so they wouldn't have created that manifesto. You know what I mean?
He also used to work for the government. And so I feel like if they wanted to identify anyone to just make a little extra crazy and just spin them up to make it believable, he would be a good candidate.
So we'll see. I mean, it's weird that he was arraigned the other day and there weren't any really big details on that. And now this is going to give Trump another year and a half of saying everybody has Trump derangement syndrome. And then he can go after Jimmy Kimmel more and accuse him of being the instigator of the violence and all the bullshit. And this is another peculiarity that came up after this, that he did an interview on 60 Minutes with Nora O'Donnell. And keep in mind, 60 Minutes is CBS owned, which is the Trump propaganda network. And it's odd the way this went. Listen to how cleverly she placed this question.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would.
Because he's all-knowing and knows everything that's happening at all times, and he is master of time, space, and dimension, but he knew this was coming.
To read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist.
And I don't know for sure anything that Trump has done. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent, even though he was convicted of being a rapist. There was that whole thing that happened a number of years ago. I'm not willing to say. But I would ask, if somebody says rapist in this way.
I'm not a rapist.
Just the way that's said, isn't that a little bit of a thing? A rapist, even the way he says it is creepy.
It is creepy.
Yeah. Many things he says are creepy.
I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
That is the most brilliant moment right there, where she didn't even say he said these about you. She just said, oh, you think he's talking about you?
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated.
Not true.
Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things.
Let's say that.
But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are the
never,
gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace.
I hate the excuse me. If I was doing an interview and somebody gave me that condescending excuse me, I'd have to say, well, fuck you. Just shut up and be honest and tell the real story, you piece of shit. That's what I would have to do.
The thing that's so disgraceful about the whole thing is that she didn't do that to him. He was the first one to interrupt her and speak over her. And she's not saying, excuse me. And he wouldn't permit her to speak and to finish what she was saying. It's incredibly disrespectful.
Well, and he knew he couldn't get away with shut up, piggy. Again, he couldn't do that because that would continue to be a problem for him. So he, in all good conscience, pulled back a little bit because that's the most he can do.
He's still saying that she's a horrible person and that she should be ashamed and all of these sorts of things, which is just ridiculous.
I wonder about her. How did that happen that she decided to ask that question and position it that way and guaranteed Barry Weiss of CBS News didn't know that was going to happen? And then when it did happen, how did they let that go by? Like they had to, I guess, make a decision that they air it that way. And how did that happen?
I'm not sure if she had intended. She didn't get to finish her question. There wasn't actually a question in there. She was starting to read something and then she was going to ask a question. But I think that he fucked up because he interrupted her.
Right.
And then...
But then her positioning of, oh, you think they were talking about you? That was completely intentional.
I think it was intentional, but I don't think that that was pre-approved. I think that that was her subtle fuck you when he interrupted her and started calling her a horrible person.
Right, but then when they get the interview and they go to edit it, because they did edit it a little bit, how did they leave that in? And I'm wondering if she got in trouble and if the person that left that in got in trouble and if maybe they were doing that without corporate knowledge. That's the thing I wonder about. I wonder about all this behind the scenes and how she got away with that because somehow she did on a network where she wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean?
I mean, obviously she's able to, but sometimes when you're doing the news, you can't edit it. And you know what it's like. Sometimes you cannot edit something out.
Sounds
For example,
unnatural.
that was like one of the first questions, wasn't it? Like
I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah. So it's like it would have been so weird to the flow, and it probably creates context for stuff that happens later as well. So the editorial team, even if they didn't like it, they had no choice but to keep it in.
Could be. It's just so odd that, and then I thought, okay, what if they're trying to position themselves as, look, we're balanced and we give everybody's opinion. What if they left that in there intentionally so they could say, well, she asked this hard-hitting question and look, we left it in. I wonder if they're just trying to play that game as well.
Or it was approved by the White House and they were told to air it because the White House thinks that he did a great job.
The fact that you would have to have news approved by the White House is terrible and says everything about everything, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Melania blamed Jimmy Kimmel for making a joke about her being a widow someday, and that must be what caused this guy to go crazy, and it's just distraction after bullshit. And now Brendan Carr, that Trump cunkfutt, I like that.
Wow.
He is...
Put that one in the Total Babble Dictionary. I like it.
Yeah, he's telling ABC that they need to review their licenses earlier. And it's just all this strong-arming bullshit and intimidation. And there's no way that's going to go through. And they're not going to lose their license. It's whether or not ABC has the balls to fight.
It's just all distraction garbage.
Yeah. Yet everywhere I turn, it's people posting, don't forget about Epstein, don't forget about Epstein. And we haven't forgotten about it, but nobody's doing anything about it either. And it's all...
So there's a big investigation happening, a new one, around that Zorro Ranch. So it's not a federal level investigation. A number of victims have been coming forward because a report was made that there were girls that were killed during rough sex buried near the ranch. And there have been young men, a number of them, who came forward and said that they attended parties and they were drugged and raped at that place. But it's not it's not in much of the news, which is fascinating to me.
Like I've heard very little about it. This is Epstein's ranch?
That's right.
Okay, because I knew he had multiple locations. And yeah, you're right. There's not very much about it. Well, what we can do is just pretend to investigate it and get files that point to all the terrible people that did terrible things and then just bury that for 2 years. We can just go through that process again because we have a corrupt, shitty government. That's probably the next step.
It is beyond the pale. I feel like there's not much we can do until he dies or until the term is finished. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. He's locked us into another one of these could be forever wars at the behest of Israel. Iran is just making him look like an absolute amateur. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I saw some of those Lego videos that you mentioned in episodes a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, those, I didn't understand how well done those would be. This is my perception of Iran is like kind of a nowhere type of country with very little technology, and they're hiding out in caves and shit. They do great Lego videos. That I'm absolutely wrong in that. I'm watching these going, wow, these are really well done. Give those guys a job. Jesus.
Yeah.
I was very shocked by that.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And
what is going on in our country.
We come back to this every show, but again, I'll come back to it. We just are waiting till the midterms, vote out everybody that's in office right now that is a Republican. Then we can have 2 years of bullshit and stalemate, and then we can vote him out. That's our best plan.
That's our best plan. Yep. Although, if we ever get there, because I think that there is still a plan to try and make it so he never gets out of office.
Absolutely. They're going to do everything they can. It's just a lot of it doesn't seem to be working. And I kind of feel like the Supreme Court is trying to vote down every little bit of the good gerrymandering that has been done. They just did one today for Louisiana, I saw before we started recording. And I am hopeful that even with that being the case, that people are going to get out and vote anyway, and it won't matter how the districts are if enough people vote him out, because 7 out of 10 people that voted for him as of now wish they hadn't. So if you take those numbers, hopefully we can topple that crap anyway, would be the hope.
Even if I think that he will find a way to say that the election was stolen or that things were wrong or blah, blah, blah. Ridiculous.
During the midterms, we're probably not going to have the bad people out of office for about another year because it's going to be argued over again and again and again. But hopefully that will cause more stalemates and he won't be able to screw up the country even further. All right, moving on from the politics into the funner stuff. I kind of meant to mention this at the beginning of the show, but she's Emily, I'm Stu, and I'm semi-focused on the show.
I'm a freak in the sheets, Stu.
That is from last week's show, where I was talking and didn't hear it, and you said, oh, you missed that one, didn't you?
I'm a freak in the sheets, Stu.
Yes, I was talking, and apparently I did. I don't hear everything on the show, but that's
actually a Microsoft Excel joke. We were talking about
I don't know what you mean, Microsoft Excel joke. I just heard you say it.
Talking about producing spreadsheets for things. And I was talking about how much I love making spreadsheets for things.
And just the fact that you say you love making spreadsheets is pretty fun.
Honestly. Yeah. I really, really do like making spreadsheets. I manage so many things on spreadsheets. And it's amazing.
Is that like formulas and stuff? Do you do formulas?
Yeah.
Oh my God, formulas. Yeah, I can do a spreadsheet if I have to, but you get involved in formulas, minus that, addition, that, quote. I don't need to even.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ugh. I do, my own depreciation schedules on assets, stuff like that. Fun things. Project plans with dependencies.
It sounded right there like you were talking a completely different language for a second. And let's not forget this timeless classic.
Talk like an Egyptian.
Talked about that a few shows ago, and I said, oh, we need to bring that one back. There are so many fun moments with Emily. We could do a whole show, maybe fun moments with Emily.
Well, that one's my sound check. You know, other people get up to the mic and are like, check one, check 2, 3, 4, waka waka. No. I have a much better method.
That one is special
check.
because you took a known song and then you took it in a different direction, kind of making it your own mix. That was the best part right there.
It's the best. I love
Yeah.
singing the guitar parts or bowing the bass line or tish-ing the drumming.
Do you do
Oh, beatboxing. I'm not very good at it.
Well,
so-
I would call it more just the sounds of the club, the vapid, empty sounds of the club that dumb people go to dance. Oh,
yeah.
I had a neighbor that did that all the time. I nearly had to kill him.
Yeah,
I think if
awesome.
you have that in the background all the time, it kind of can turn you into a killer. I think that is what drives people to kill.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's maddening. I think people who live in apartment complexes and then play music really loudly, kill them.
Yeah.
It's so disrespectful. Why do they do it? There are headphones. But I don't understand how they want. Why do you want the music so loud? I also put people who drive around with the car solely propelled by sound waves into that same group of just fuckwits. Like, why do you want to be deaf and annoying other people? Who is it for?
Well, they need to share.
I don't want to hear country music.
They need to share their terrible taste in music with the rest of the world is what it comes down to. And even if it's something you like, you don't need to hear it. But they are just convinced that their music is so good, the rest of the world needs to be a part of it.
It's so crazy. I think it is just a cry for attention. Show me somebody on the back of one of those motorcycles with music blaring, and I will show you somebody with low self-esteem or a tiny penis.
Or both. Connected,
Right.
Usually the case. And usually that is the guy that I was going to mention here, that in addition to bumping the loud music because the world has to hear it, intentionally has a very loud car. Loud car guys, and your whole fucking house shakes. Those are the guys with little tiny dicks that need to be the center of attention because they don't feel good about themselves and are inadequate. That's that guy. Have
put
you
the
ever
muffler on.
seen a woman with a car like that? I've never seen it.
I have.
Have you? Okay.
I have.
Well, that's
But-
honest.
Yeah,
Tell me.
but there's not many of them. Most of them, though, like for street racing and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're more on the outlandish fast car.
Street takeover kind of people, that crowd? Or, okay.
Yeah. 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 Not that I participate in illegal street racing, but I may have observed it a time or two.
It's good that you said that because I went into the show thinking that you were big into the street racing. I was concerned and thinking she's way into the street racing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's probably because of the facial tattoo that I have that says, I love street racing. I could see why it would be confusing.
ILSR.
However, yeah.
ILSR, and then it actually says it underneath. Takes
Right
up
in
a
the
big
forehead.
portion of your
Yeah.
face that looks like rose burn. Yeah.
Yeah. I find it to be so annoying.
Yeah.
We have a lot of it near where we live, and they keep killing themselves and other people. And it's just so frustrating. It's just a bunch of low IQ, just poorly frontal lobe developed fuckheads.
It is in those cases that I go against the Constitution in my brain, and I have a hard time with that because when I see that stuff and they close down a street and the police raid them and arrest them, I immediately think in my head, impound their vehicle and take their vehicle away and sell their vehicle. And I know that's unconstitutional and really shouldn't be, but I can't get past it because that would solve the issue.
It would definitely solve the issue.
Right.
And you don't even have to be a scientist to think of that because they can't race if they don't have a car.
Yep.
And so it's like, I have a thing that I talk to my kids about, and it's called baby knifing. Okay.
Well, you better get detailed on that because on the surface, it doesn't sound real great.
Right.
Okay.
And so sometimes I have to not permit my children to do something because they're not quite at the age where they are able to handle the responsibility or to do it safely or accurately. And the example that I gave is, I'll give you a steak knife because you're nearly a teenager, but I'm not going to give a steak knife to a baby because babies be knifing. The baby will cut itself, it'll cut somebody else. Baby knifing. Because they would do things sometimes and, you know, for example, using a certain type of glass, and then they will break it. And then it's an accident. So they're not going to get in trouble for it. But then when they ask to do it again, I'll say, sorry, baby knifing. And that's the explanation, which is, hey, yes, you'll be able to do this in the future, but you can't do it right now.
It's kind of your own spoken thing there in the house.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's a way to put boundaries in place, but explain that it's a developmental thing. You'll be able to drive your own car at some point. For example, driving a golf cart or something. Baby knifing. You can't do that yet, but you'll be able to do it in a couple of years.
Is that then a concern when they take that phrase and use it outside the house? Like at school, the teacher would say something and he'd say, no, I didn't do that. The teacher would say, why? And he'd go, well, baby knifing. Does that ever come up?
It hasn't yet.
Okay.
But it might at some point, and then they'll just provide an explanation of it.
Okay.
But it is funny. It is one of our inside family jokes.
They're evolved enough to know that you can't just say baby knifing without explaining it, in other words.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. You've done good parenting.
Let's see. We had to come up with baby knifing because there was a lot of tension in the house because kids don't like to be told no, especially if their friends are allowed to do things.
Yeah. Sorry, Johnny is allowed to be by the electrical outlet with a fork, but I'm not going to do that for you. That kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Same as social media, okay? Right now, baby knifing.
Right.
Not allowed social media right now. Later.
Here's the thing that I think I know, but I don't know. Today I am this many days dumb. I'm just realizing. If you have a piece of toast that gets stuck in the toaster and the toaster is engaged and you go to fish it out, you should not use a metal knife, correct?
Correct.
Because that can shock you.
Correct.
Okay. I thought that was the case. It just doesn't make sense in my head. How does it shock you? There's just heating things in there. I don't see a bunch of electrical nodes or anything like that.
What do you think the heating thing is made out of?
Well, I would think that is connected at the bottom to something electrical, but they just come up. I wouldn't think that it's going to shock you. Is it you're touching one heating element and then you touch the other? Is that what causes you to be shocked?
I think that earlier toaster models, the element is a piece of electrical wire that is sent, a current is sent through and it heats up. The heaty thing is the electrical wire.
Got it.
The electrical wire in the heater is not a different thing. This is Clark Kent and Superman. They're the same guy. The only difference is when the power's on it's heat up, you're like, not electrical.
Right.
That's heater man. That's heater man. That's not the electrical. I'm here to tell you they're the same guy. And that is why you don't put the knife in the toaster.
And I think perhaps for the first time ever in the show, I've said many stupid things, and there have been many, I am this many days dumb, but for the first time I hear condescension in your voice. Like, how do you not know this?
Well, I think that they've probably improved the safety features.
Yeah.
So I think that right now you probably don't need to fear the toaster. And you can fish it out with whatever spicy electrical spicy piece of metal you want. Get in there. I use plastic tongs, like rubber tongs if I need to. But I do believe that earlier toasters, 100%, same as hair dryers.
Yeah.
The element itself was the electricity.
Should I do experiments and try these things out? Should I check the toaster when I get done with the show? Go downstairs, give that a try, perhaps?
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
Because it's not going to kill me, right?
Well, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. So the thing that I enjoy about the United States is we're on 110 here. In Australia, you're at 240.
Yeah.
So if you don't get stuck to it, it'll throw you across the room. But here, it's just like a little bit of a spicy kiss. Just, it's not even that bad. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. Not good.
And I wonder when that happens, does it affect you for the rest of your life? I wonder if maybe that damages you just a little bit, even to where you're now a little bit more mentally deficient as time goes on.
I think it's supposed to modify your behavior in the same way that you utilize an electric fence for goats.
Yeah.
But I have it on good authority that the goats, no matter how many times they're shocked, they will never fucking care. Horses maybe care. Goats don't care. So you could be a goat or a horse. I don't know.
That sounds like some deep philosophy. Goat or horse? Which one are you?
If you get zapped after putting a knife into the element, is it the element of surprise?
Ooh, way to go, Dad joke.
You're welcome.
And then I thought back and I thought, I don't know that anybody ever explained to me not to stick a knife in a toaster because I was a latchkey kid. I think I remember trying it once or twice and having that happen and getting freaked out and learning on my own.
And oh my gosh. How old were you when you first put metal in the microwave?
That happened too. 11 or 12. And then at one point I did it intentionally.
How old were you the first time the house burnt down?
I never burned down a house.
Thank
I've lived
goodness.
in apartment buildings that were on fire, but I didn't do it.
Keep saying that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You didn't do it, Stu. You don't know who did it.
Got
You
woken
weren't
up by
even
the
there.
firemen pounding on the door and the room filled with smoke because I
Oh
lived.
my God. On the door. I didn't know where you were going with that.
I lived in an apartment building that rented to a lot of migrant farm workers, and they would work and then live in their apartment, and they didn't have money to buy electricity, so they would burn candles at night, and more than once or twice, the candles got knocked over, and the entire place was on fire.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That actually happened to some neighbors of ours this past Hanukkah. They lit the menorah,
Oh, my God.
and the menorah burnt their house down.
See, if that's the case, you would think God is out to get you. That's how I would take it.
Yeah. It's terrible. Very sad. Thankfully, they were all safe, which I think is the most important thing. But it happens more than you would know. Oh, here we go. This is a public safety announcement regarding candles. Okay. And it's not all of the straightforward dumb ones. Okay. Like, it's not don't leave a candle unattended. What it is, you know how a lot of these candles come in like glass containers?
Yeah.
Don't let it burn all the way to the end because it can crack the bottom and cause a fire. But best case scenario, it heats up the bottom so much, it will leave a burn mark on your furniture.
This is good to know. I was going to end the show today and light a candle, so thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, you are welcome.
This is like Home Improvement with Emily. We did a few weeks ago.
Oh, I've got something for the Total Babble store.
All right.
For our future store. I know we were stuck on T-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to make a business case for extending into bath bombs.
Please go on.
The one that I would like to sell is shaped like a toaster. Okay.
Already I'm sold.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that these are the types of things that we should have in the Total Bubble store. Give your favorite person at work a toaster bath bomb.
Does it need to be the size of a toaster or can it be miniature?
It will be miniature.
Okay.
Just sort of a vintage one slice, live, laugh, toaster bath.
And you can sell it that way and saying it's good that it's small because then it won't confuse your children and that will be a safety tip kind of.
Maybe. I don't know. What are the kids going to do with it? Try and make toast with it?
They might, and then when it doesn't work, they'll get frustrated and throw it in the bathtub and it will work. And we're just hoping that they'll see the difference between that and the full-size toaster and then not throw the full-size toaster in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And then
full-size toaster.
what would the scent be?
Depression.
Okay, perfect. That's
Well,
good.
I don't know. Okay, this is a serious conversation now, which is which scent is preferred. I like in my baths lavender type scents, like relaxing, because I'm a evening shower bath kind of person, not invigorating. And also I find it weird. Who would have a bath in the morning? Like, I'm going to have a bath and then go out for the day. It seems weird.
Well,
so I
but
would
you
say
shower in
lavender.
the morning, right?
Yeah.
The bath is more for nighttime relaxation. I'm going to sleep, that kind of thing. Okay, just
Yeah,
checking.
that's my vibe. Or after working out, magnesium soak, something like that.
Gotcha.
But I do also enjoy a thing referred to as a shower steamer. And just to be clear, no, that's not shitting in the shower and then squishing it
That's a
down
Cleveland
the hole.
steamer.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if that happens in the shower, Stu, but you
hopefully.
do you.
Otherwise, cleanup's a bitch.
So it's not that. They're
Yeah.
like little pucks of bath bomb,
Yeah.
but for the shower, and those are amazing. So the scent needs to be lavender or citrusy.
We'll have
In
to
my
work
opinion.
it out
What's
because
yours?
it should reflect the attitudes of the show. And I'm not a big flowery guy. If it's really heavy citrusy, I kind of like a more just clean smell. We'll have to figure it out.
We do. We're one of the latest things that we have in our house this month is coming up with names for men's deodorants.
Sounds like a fun project.
So it's pretty fun, and we do it in car rides. And when I say we, it's mostly me dying of laughter.
Yeah.
And the boys in different accents and voices just saying things like Yeti balls. Mechanics
That Dr.
bench.
Squatch soap maker, he could absolutely have Yeti balls.
Totally.
Yeah, don't share this
Totally.
with them. They'll steal it.
Yeah. Bob's glove box. Bucket of nuts. You know, just all sorts of things like that. Tobacco breath.
There is like a tobacco soap even, I think. So you're totally
There
on the right
is
track there.
I think this whole leather and tobacco thing
Yeah.
people had going on for a while. I don't know about that, but I do like the scent of cafe cream cigars. My cousin used to smoke them.
Wow.
I like them.
That sounds gross. I haven't smelt it, so I don't know for sure, but it sounds kind of gross to me. Well,
Oh no, it's delicious.
all right.
Cafe creme.
All right, so moving on to other entertainment stuff. Meant to bring this up a couple of weeks ago, but we're all over the place. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions happened, and there is always discussion around that, and there's always the people that you're like, what the fuck? But I really need to bring one up because Sade. Rock
yeah.
and Roll Hall of Fame Sade. There's always the thing of, well, they're not rock, to which I say, okay, maybe we just make it the Music Hall of Fame, but you can't call Sade rock. But if it's just the Music Hall of Fame, shouldn't the winners have had an impact on music? Shouldn't the winners have had more than 1.5 hits? Like it was Smooth Operator and that one other one that was kind of a hit. And I don't have anything against the woman. I think she's probably talented, but to be in any kind of Hall of Fame just seems ridiculous and absurd to me. She came up and then that started the smooth jazz thing in radio. And maybe you could say she was influential on starting smooth jazz, a radio format. But beyond that, she didn't have any kind of impact. And Hall of Fame, really? Probably great, but really?
Yeah.
And there's so many of those looking at this, you know?
I agree with you. The only thing, and at the end of the day, when it comes down to this, there's only one way to decide.
Rock, paper, scissors?
No, saxophone.
Saxophone.
If you have saxophone in your song, can you be a rock song?
Maybe old-timey rock, but most of those people are already in.
But they're already in.
Yeah.
Or you're a ska band.
Yeah, that is skull. Ska Hall of Fame.
Ska. Yeah, the ska. Where are the crows coming from? I'm so confused. Ska! But, okay, the saxophone thing was probably a little bit rich, but I could go soul, I could go R&B, I could go soft pop, but...
And I don't even
know.
care if those people are in it, just don't call it the Rock Hall of Fame because it's not rock anymore. It's the Music Hall of Fame.
But then we'll have all sorts of things getting in there.
Maybe have a rock segment, and if you want to focus on the rock segment, you can do that. If you want to focus on the overall jazz thing, you can do that.
I think they have things like the jazz. Do they have the Jazz Hall of Fame?
I think they have all kinds of Hall of Fames. It's just the rock one is the big one, and we put
one.
people like Sade in it.
I do love Smooth Operator.
Yeah.
However, I don't know if it is World of Fame, like Hall of Fame worthy. Have they? So has Sade written rock songs for other people?
Not that I've ever heard of. And if I've never heard of them, then it lends itself to her not being in the Hall of Fame.
She does feel a little bit more like a one album wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know if her contribution, and again, I'm not familiar with the contribution, so I'll be happy to eat my words.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, as far as I know, she had a hit and a half. Hang on. Hey, Siri, what were the hits of Sade?
Their hits include Is It a Crime?
Is It a Crime? Smooth Operator.
So I've never even heard Is It a Crime? There was some other song she had. Like I said, hit and a half is what she had. And all right. But every year there's one of those, and every year you think, wow, that person is not in there yet, and they should be. And I think they do that on purpose to get people to talk about it. It's like when Rolling Stone puts out a list of the greatest rock bands ever, which they just did, and there's just all kinds of bullshit on there so that people will get upset and talk about it.
Maybe that's what it is. To be clear as well, she has never had a #1 album on a chart except for in Poland.
We know about the Polacks. I can say that because I'm
Smooth
Polish.
Operators.
It's like with an A. I can talk about the Polish people. I'm allowed.
Okay.
I have Polish in me, or do you want some?
There's a joke in Australia that is similar to what you just said.
All right.
Important context for this is that a colloquial term for sex in Australia is root, as in like have a root.
Okay.
ROOT. And so the line goes thusly. Would you like to trip over a tree? Well, no.
So,
How about a root?
and that's like the offer for sex is there.
Correct.
Wow. That happens in bars a lot, I bet. Hey, and then they nudge and they're all.
Yeah, I think it does. Or the other one, which is, you want to come back to my place for sex and nachos? And then when they say no, you say, well, you don't like nachos.
Ah, see what they did there?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Are those the
but
dudes in
funny.
Australia with the big loud cars? Is that who uses that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And mullets. It's so funny. Mullets are a big thing for my people at the moment.
Still.
Well, it's having a resurgence.
Wow.
The resurgence is akin to the 80s. The mullet is quite the it haircut. It's ridiculous. But wolf cuts, in my opinion, are modern mullets, and I think they are as horrific as a mullet. Change my mind.
I don't think I know what a wolf cut is.
Oh my God. You'd recognize it because I think Susie from Susie and the Banshees had one.
Okay, now I know. If you did describe it like that, it's that kind of 80s gothy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I just Googled it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need all that shag. No, nobody needs all that shag. It's just so, I'm edgy for no reason.
Yeah, I'm edgy and I'm messy for no reason.
Yeah.
And if you don't style it, it looks...
It's all tussled about.
But I think Jenna Ortega has one.
Yeah.
Just looks messy.
Oh, there's our fashion segment. All right, let's talk about movies.
Oh, yes, let's.
Huge at the box office this week, that Michael Jackson thing. I think it has to be
Huge.
bad. I think back on all the biopic movies that have been made about bands, and I think most of them are terrible, and the ones that are done by the artists or families of the artists are terrible. That was the case with the Queen movie. That is the case of the Michael Jackson one. I haven't seen it, but I think it has to just be terrible and not talk about any of the controversial stuff. What do you know of this movie?
I haven't looked at it at all, but I think it avoids the creepy stuff. I haven't watched it yet, so I have no opinion. But I will say that Rocket Man, the Elton John one, I thought that movie was great.
That's
With
good.
Taron-
Good exception.
with
I was
Taron-
going to ask you what are the exceptions to the rule. Good one.
So my exception to the rule is Rocket Man with Taron Egerton.
I did see
playing
that.
Elton John.
That was good. And the other
that's
one I
great.
came up with was the Doors movie was okay. I don't know how factual that was, but I felt Val Kilmer was really good in that role, and that seemed like
He
a good
was.
one. Yeah.
That's good.
But
I'm so sorry. I'm full of regrets.
well,
I
I
haven't
mean, nobody
watched it
would
yet.
force you to go see that because I didn't go to see it either. And then I started thinking about Michael Jackson overall, and I'm going to make a statement here. I think he is hugely overrated. Off the Wall was a great record. Thriller, the Led Zeppelin 4 of all music, completely overplayed and fucked out, was also a great record at the time when it first came out, the first week before it got overplayed. But beyond Off the Wall and Thriller, what is really huge and great, memorable music for Michael? And then if you take those two records and say, yes, those were tremendous, earth-shattering records, I can say that those records were all great because of Quincy Jones' production, not necessarily Michael. Would those records have been huge without Quincy Jones? And I don't think they would have been.
I don't know. I mean, Quincy didn't produce anything by the Jackson 5, right?
I'm not sure of that.
I don't know if he was overrated.
I think
Go on.
about it that if you took the Quincy Jones production and put almost any other artist in those songs singing those, it would have been as big a hit. But if you take just Michael doing those songs with some other producer, it wouldn't have been done well.
I don't know. I feel like Michael also was a leader, if not a pioneer, in like modern pop stadium shows. I feel like he birthed that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that Taylor Swift is now the queen of that. But that whole mega pop star thing, people could argue and say, well, the Beatles started it. But I really think that Michael honed it. And he wasn't just an artist, right? He was also a showman, an excellent dancer, fully in command of the crowd. And I think in a different way.
You're
to
right
Prince.
about that. Before then, there were stadium shows, but they
Yeah.
were more one-offs. He and his brothers, he started it with the Jackson 5 when they were getting huge, would go on stadium tours like the Victory
Yeah.
Tour and all that. And yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
And Taylor Swift does it now, but he consistently had number ones, and he was just sort of omnipresent. And his music also holds up now, I think. Like, you can hear it on the radio, and it doesn't feel out of place. And I think his style of music was also, it inspired so many different people and different iterations. His personal style as well, I think, was quite groundbreaking in the genre.
I think anything off of Thriller sounds out of place now. If you're just listening to pop radio, I think that sounds like, oh my God, they're playing this again. I think if you go back to Off the Wall, you can kind of get away with some of it because it's less fucked out. But again, it's like they're playing Stairway to Heaven over and over again when they put on anything from Thriller, almost. Unless it's like PYT, and they would never play PYT because it wasn't a hit, and it's got a weird context now because pretty young
Well,
thing.
it does, but I heard it on the radio the other day, and I
Did
was
you?
like, banging track.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
But I do like that song.
it's Beat
And I
It,
do
it's
too.
Thriller, You know, it's that over and over again.
It's Billie Jean.
Yeah. The opening of Billie Jean, I'm instantly clicking off the radio if I'm listening to the radio.
Dangerous album. Anything from that was like weird. Black or white, weird. Like in today's context.
That was after the Quincy Jones time, and they were not great records, in my opinion.
No, but it was still super popular. I feel like he just is still so incredibly popular, and it has transcended multiple generations now. And I feel like people will still keep seeing him as this great artist. I really do think that he is one of the best pop artists of all time. Whether or not I'm a huge fan of his music or not, I don't think pop is only about the music. And I don't think it's ever really been only about the music. Like, think about the Beatles. If girls didn't have the hots for them, they wouldn't have ever been as big as they were. Fight me.
I agree. No, I agree with you that he's one of the biggest pop stars of all time. I would just tend to say that is mostly because of the great production that he got on his records, not as much because of him. Because so much of that is, okay, if you do this a little bit different and hit that a little bit different, and we put this bit of production on there, that is what is going to make people really attracted to it.
Yeah, but he still has to live and exist outside in the world. Like, there's lots of these artists today who might be great on the record or make great music, but they're not personalities in any sense. You have to have, like, the whole package to really get into the stratosphere.
Yeah, and they did engineer that.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's a business, right? And now half of the pop people that they're churning out, they're not musicians. They have auditions and they find someone with the right voice and the right look and what they want to do and just churn it out for the machine.
Yeah. All right, so that was the Michael Jackson movie. I want to talk about for sure Project Hail Mary. Did you watch all of it?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because you texted me about it, and I already had it, but I needed to get a different copy, whole different thing. I thought Project Hail Mary was incredibly good, long, not what I expected.
So long.
I didn't know what it was going to be. It's based on a book, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. A couple times it was hard to follow, and then I realized, okay, they're bouncing around in time there. I got that. Ryan Gosling, great, absolutely believable, cool and touching, and hit me in places I didn't think it would hit me. There were a couple times where I said, okay, this is going to happen, and this is about to become that tragic thing, and it didn't happen, and I thought that was great. Mm-hmm. I have other points. What did you want to say?
No, I agree with you. I really enjoyed it. And there were moments when I started to think, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this because this isn't my genre of film.
It seems like it's going to be slow sci-fi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It feels like it's going to be a rival. It feels like it's going to be just a bit boring or too weird. You know, there was a minute there where I was like, oh, okay, this is going to turn into something where I am no longer able to suspend my disbelief. I feel like that's a piece of critical importance for any film experience is I have to find it believable, like within the realm of possible. If it's way too crazy, my brain just goes boring, no thank you. But I thought that this towed the line. I loved the way that it was shot. It was so clever and so beautiful to look at. I found myself on multiple times going, wow, look at that shot.
And unique, incredible use of music in this movie. There's a Beatles song. I'm not a Beatles guy, don't really care for the Beatles, but there is a Beatles song that was so perfectly used. And then I'm like, oh, hey, there's a Neil Diamond song. Okay, this is cool. Really great moments of music in that movie.
It really was. Really great soundtrack, I thought. Unpopular opinion, I think the Beatles are overrated.
I do too. They just like, okay, for their time, understand it. I get the frenzy. I never need to sit down and listen to a Beatles record. I understand they were innovative and changed things, but okay, I'm done.
But, right. And so it is for that reason that, do you know that movie? I can't remember the name of it, but it was a movie from a few years ago where some guy wakes up and the Beatles had never existed and he's the only one who remembers all the music, and he starts playing all of the music of the Beatles as if it's his music.
Wow.
And it's like popular and famous and all of that kind of stuff. I think that if we were to wake up in that reality and then had somebody come out and start producing the entire Beatles back catalogue, the Beatles would not experience their rise to fame. I don't think that they would be revered. I think it was the perfect storm of time and
right
place.
place, right
and,
time.
Yeah, exactly. The rebellion, the advent of rock music, all of that kind of thing. But anyway, back to Project Hail Mary. Watch it.
I really liked it. It was 2 hours and 37 minutes. And I said, no movie needs to be this long. But then I did the thing where I think, okay, what could be cut out? And there's really nothing. You need all the context of bringing things up to date as to what's happened and where they are. And you can watch it in a couple goes. I watched it over 2 nights, and just really good and surprising. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did.
I loved it. I left feeling like that was a great movie.
Yeah. And then there is the total Babel connection to Project Hail Mary that I'm sure you do not know about.
I have no idea.
The Russian scientist, the female,
Yeah.
Milana Weintraub, she's been on this show a few times. She wasn't a host, but she's been a guest on this show, and she's an actress, and we've had her on, and she is a delight. She won't talk to me anymore, but she is a delight.
It's a lot to unpack in that last 15 seconds.
She used to have a web series when she was starting out. She was an actress all her life, and she had this great web series called Let's Talk About Something More Interesting. And when we were doing the show 10 years ago, we had her on as a guest a couple times. And I think what happened, it's a big screw up, and I'll take responsibility for it. I had a crush on her, and I played with that on the air, but it wasn't like a big threatening thing. And about 70% of that crush was kind of the bit. And I did it as a bit, and I don't know if she really got how much of the bit it was. Like, I wasn't aggressive about it or anything. I wasn't like grabbing at her, oh, look at your boobs or anything. I was just like, oh, Milana. I had that kind of attitude. And I think she maybe had fun with it for a while. And then as time went on and Me Too caught on, I think maybe she thought, oh, that Stu guy, he's just like a Me Too type person. And maybe she thought of it that way, if I had to interpret. But everything when we did the interviews was fine and fun. It's just I've tried to catch up with her a couple times over the years, and I just don't hear back from her. And if I'm reading into it, that's what I read into it. But she's very cool. And you can still go back and watch Let's Talk About Something More Interesting on YouTube, and those are still great, awkward comedy.
I think it does get weird if they don't know it's a bit.
I think she knew it was a bit because she went with it. I just think she got very socially active, and I think maybe looking back on it when she got socially active, that was a part of, well, I never want to go back to that kind of thing. And she does have creepy dudes fawning over her all the time and saying gross stuff.
Yeah, I bet. The other thing, too, is maybe she doesn't even remember that.
Who could forget me?
Certainly not the parking guy or the salad bar dessert people or the parking people. I wonder, because I think that you would probably forget some of the people you've gotten into it with, because for you, it's not a big deal. It's like breathing, okay? I wonder if anybody sees you out like months or years after you like gave it to them in a parking lot or a Sprouts, right? And it's like, it's that fucking guy. And then like runs away. Or if they're like telling their friends, like their new girlfriend or boyfriend, hey, you know, fucking Sprouts dessert guy? That's the fucking guy. That's the guy right there. Do you ever wonder about that?
I think they probably remember me, but I kind of don't care. And it is to my benefit sometimes. Sometimes I would rather live that way. There's this guy across the street that I've talked about before that they have a big, loud dog with a huge, throaty voice that they used to leave out all day long and all day long. And I went over there and tried to work it out with the wife 3 times, and she was an asshole about it each and every time. And when that happened again, I finally went over with a 120 decibel air horn and started honking outside their house. And she and I got into a big fight, and then she kept doing it. And I went back and did that at 3 a.m. and it woke up her and it woke up the rest of the neighbors, and it was a problem. But then the rest of the neighbors said, well, you need to stop that. You need to bring your dog in because this is causing problems. So now when the dog was out yesterday, I fired a warning shot during the day of 120 decibels air horn, and we have not had problems since. And that's the way I operate usually. It's usually, I'm going to try to work this out with you normally. If it doesn't work normally, then we're going to take the next step. And I think I would rather be known as the crazy person. And you're jumping around like you just got a text for an appointment or something that you need to work on.
Fair enough. The electrician that we were talking about, the reason I'm jumping around is because I've had to holster my dog because Alexa just said, there's someone at the door.
I see.
And it's the electrician that we talked about.
Well, we should end the show anyway. It's over an hour. Good luck with your electrical work.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I can't wait to tell you about my electrical work when next we meet.
Yeah, what you do right now, go ask him about toasters.
I'm gonna ask him to watch me demonstrate my technique for fishing things out and see if he freaks out.
If you had stuck toast and a butter knife, what would you do? That's what you said. Anyway.
Good news. It'll trip the electrical breaker in a modern house so nobody dies.
Cool.
But so go forth and fish out toast with reckless abandon. It's always a pleasure.
Shut the hell away from me. We'll say that.
Shut the hell away from me.
Goodbye,
all right,
everybody.
Mate. See you next week. Bye.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.